Ba-da-bum-bum.
Storm.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum. Souls. Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Dragon.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Roll. Dadventurous.
Welcome back
to
Dadventurous.
level 13?
Episode 13.
Level 13. You're going to level me up to level 13 right now.
I don't think so.
Boo.
You're only level 3.
Boo.
Unfortunately.
That's fine. Sorry, I interrupted you. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully.
To another week of our podcast.
Yeah, another week of campaign 2.
Yeah.
The Hobbening. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Was that it?
I don't think we have any other any shout outs.
No immediate shout outs or questions or anything. Just
Thanks you all for listening.
yeah, and
Thank you all.
thanks y'all for listening.
Yeah.
And without any other things, the only thing left is to do the thing that you do.
All right.
So after you.
I'm going to do the thing. Last week on Dadventurous, Hob, I believe. Where did we end?
I swam
Oh, right.
and I made my way up into the tower.
So, sorry, I couldn't remember if that was last week's episode or the week before that episode. But last week on Dadventurous, Hob, Alfred, and Yarg swam. Well, Alfred got tucked under your arm.
That's true.
Out to the observatory of Stormwreck Isle, and you climbed up this large basalt, kind of like column-like structure. It seemed natural formed, but the weird basalt columns. And you climbed up to the top and found 2 little winged kobolds fighting off some of the
Mac and cheese.
Sure,
Yep.
if that's what we're calling them. So, like, do you think it's Mac? It's probably just the way I pronounce it.
Is it not Mac?
It's not Mac.
What is it?
Mech.
Mech? Like mech? Mechanic mech?
Yeah, and I can tell you how to spell.
Wow.
How to spell it, too.
Well,
it's weird.
in standard...
So you can call it mac and cheese.
I was going to say, in standard Hob fashion, as far as he's concerned, it's mac and mac and cheese in general.
All right.
So...
Sounds about right. The kobolds were fighting off some sturges, some
That's
of the
true.
hungry, icky, blood-sucking bat things. You helped them fight them off, and they introduced themselves. You told them a little bit about how their sister Mila was still alive, and they seemed very happy about that. And they were very proud to tell you about the work that they've been doing for the Blue Dragon, Sparkrender.
Yep.
You talked to them for a little bit, and then you went over to a pair of statues and inserted your moonstone key into the base. You noticed that there seemed to be a slot for it, and you created a bridge, a magical bridge to an area that you had not previously explored. It was a little small tower off to the edge. And I believe you found a potion of lightning resistance.
I did find that, as well as the knowledge that there was also a bridge that went back to mainland, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I found.
You also, I believe, found a journal. There is a passage underlined, written inside. I can repeat it to you.
The black journal with a lock.
Mm-hmm.
And did I write the passage down? Let's find out. Point your eyes towards Dragon's Light. That's all I wrote.
That's all you wrote?
What am I missing?
All right. It says, "To ye 4 scholars, point your eyes toward the Dragon's Light, for it guides thy descent into knowledge." That is what it said. You found that. It was trapped, so it seemed to be important of some sort. You went back across the bridge and talked to the kobolds again. They showed you into their kind of camp, and you noticed 5 other kobolds also in the camp. They kind of all looked at you and all stood up. And the one in the front, I believe, said, "Who are you, and what are you doing here?"
That's true. And
that is where we are.
That's
now.
where we are now. Yes, I immediately hold my hands up. What color are they? All various colors? Or are they all the same
They
color?
are all red. You get the feeling that this is pretty average kobold color.
We're out here.
Like there's different shades of red, but
I say, hold, friends, hold. I, of course, as you can see, am a friend of the kobold, and I point to Yarg as well as
Yarg
Mac
waves.
and Min.
all right.
We are here as emissaries for peace and dragons. Could be a good episode title, Peace and Dragons.
Peace
keep
and
that
Dragons.
in.
I
We'll
like
keep that locked in maybe for later.
I like that. We don't take very kindly to peace, but dragons, for whom?
Well, you know, sometimes the only way to find peace is through battle. Feel free
I
to
love
make
your-
me roll stuff. if
I
you
love
want.
your random deep comments.
Thank you.
Make a persuasion check, I
A
guess.
persuasion check with my epic persuasion. Hey, that's a 17.
Ooh,
I got a 16 on the dice.
nice, actually.
I say sometimes the only way to peace is through battle, and the only way to win battles is with dragons. Sort of cyclical reasoning here. You understand, you're kobolds.
Yeah. Hey, Mac, Min, what's your rating on these guys? And
You say reading or rating? Because I hope it's a rating.
it was reading, but I mean, it could
On a
be
scale
rating.
from 1 to cool.
From 1 to cool. Ooh, nice. Min pipes up and says, "Well, we found him outside. I think they want to see, they want to meet Sparkrender,
It's true.
and they helped us with the bat things."
Mm.
And the other winged kobold in front of the other kobolds kind of gestures to them all, and they settle back down.
Mm.
All right, you're fine for now.
Cool. Have you guys ever heard of Dragon's Rest, the town nearby?
There's a audible growl throughout the room.
Ah,
Yeah, what about it?
just curious. Trying to get a vibe. How do you feel about metallic dragons?
I mean, I never met one before.
Cool. Just checking all of my boxes here. Do you have any beef jerky?
That's so specific.
I don't know if there's been any cows on this island at all.
No, but we have like some pig.
Nice. Would you be willing to share a meal with a fellow kobold friend?
Make a persuasion check.
That is a 5.
It says, "I don't think there's really enough to go around."
All right. Well, I don't mean to impede. I just want you to point me towards Sharktender.
Wait, okay. You reused your wrong name.
I did.
Right, nice. I like it. We finally found one that we like. Also, you've got a thing with sharks, apparently.
Yeah, that's true.
Shark tender,
tooth.
shark tooth.
That's true. I'll come up with a few more. Don't worry.
He kind of motions Mac and Men forward, and there's a little bit of a whispered conversation. And then Mac points to the other side of this tower, kind of to your right a little bit from where you came in.
Okay.
And there's just an opening in the tower. And there's a platform that goes out, but it ends. And you do notice that pulley and basket that you noticed earlier from the
right.
water leading up to this higher stone column.
Does that seem to be the only way up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Met goes, he's over there, but you might want to, well, how to put this? And the other kobold pipes up and goes, "You're not to be held responsible for what happens to you if you mess with him."
That's fine. I wouldn't have blamed you anyway.
All right, you're free to go.
And you know, hypothetically, if I get up there, Sharktender's like, "No, you're bad. You're bad, Hub." And I go, "No." And we get into a little tussle and things happen. Maybe he gets scared away and he doesn't come back here. How do you guys feel about me at that point?
Well, I mean, it'd be kind of rude of you to scare him off.
That's fair.
He is our boss.
Okay, cool. And what does he pay you with? How are the benefits?
The benefits. They kind of, like, the three of the winged kobolds just kind of look at each other, and Min goes,
What do you mean? He provides us with leadership, and well, we get to live here.
Cool.
So there's
Sounds
that.
super neat. Do any of you know, and I list off as many kobolds' names as I can remember from Dragon's Rest. Mila and Rix come to mind.
Mhm.
I don't know if I met any other ones that I remember.
there were
I'm
9
sure there
total
were more.
kobolds.
Was there a Vix? Or something
No.
close with a V?
Hmm.
Or a Grix?
Well, what?
You don't need to look it up, because Hob wouldn't remember.
Well, those are the two that you remember. You're
I say Mila and
pretty
Rix.
sure one might be named like Blep or something.
Oh, I did speak to Blep.
yeah.
Okay, we'll go
Those were
with
the three
Mila,
you spoke
Rix,
to.
and Blep.
Again, the Mac and Min kind of like perk up at the mention of
Right.
Mila's name, but the other one just shakes his head. Nah,
And what's
never heard of him.
your name, kind kobold sir?
Nehro.
Necro?
Yeah.
Cool name. Anyway, good to meet you. I'm gonna go up a basket.
Yeah, well, just don't cause any trouble, all right?
Wouldn't dream of it.
Mac, Min, come on and help me over here.
Can I
And they kind of wave
I-
to you.
sort of utilize this time that has been going on to do a short rest?
Yeah, probably with enough
Just
of
with like talking to these
talking
guys
to these
and
guys, and yeah, you
Okay.
succeeded on all your persuasion checks, so
Sweet. I'm going to take a quick short rest and use one of my hit dice to recover. I got all my health back.
nice. All right, yeah, I'll allow you to make that.
Sweet.
There,
Then I want to go towards the basket, but can I look around the camp as I walk through? I want to see if there's any sort of similar runes carved like I saw at Olivia's camp.
yeah, sure. Make an investigation check.
With a -1 of 15.
Not here. No, you
No? Okay.
don't see. This seems like a
No references to
Kind of-
Sharuth.
kind of like the kobold encampment with Olivia. There's nothing out of ordinary with the kobolds. There's
They just like leadership and dragons.
Yeah.
Okay. I make my way over to the basket.
all right. There's this platform here. The top of this other higher tower is probably about 15 feet above you.
Okay.
It's taller than the rest of these. And there's a little pulley lift with a basket
Okay.
hanging off the edge.
So the basket is like for people to get into?
Yeah, it definitely seems like, as you think back to it, there were 4 other kobolds there that were not winged.
Mm,
So you kind of get the idea that this might be how they get up here.
okay. I step in and
Right.
close the door or whatever of the basket. Is there a counterweight system?
Do I even remember how a pulley works?
There would need to be a heavier weight than me. Okay.
You do notice a couple like bags of just like rocks and rubble, kind of just sacks, kind of piled haphazardly into this basket. You get the idea, and there's ropes attached to them. You get
Okay.
the idea of however many you throw off.
Cool. I get in and I start trying to neutralize our weight.
All right, there's a couple of the bags here. They're kind of like what you'd expect, like sandbags on a hot air balloon. They're
Oh, okay.
kind of seem to keep this thing here.
Gotcha.
I'm going to say it takes all the bags for you to get yourself to rise, because you
and am I with
are heavier.
Yarg and...
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say that Alfred is probably dried off enough by now,
Sweet.
so he can fly again. But yeah, you are heavier than the average 2 kobolds, so
Cool.
as you rise up this rickety pulley, you can hear it squeaking. It's not very well put together.
Okay.
Can you make a perception check?
I would love to make a perception check. That's a 14.
All right. Off to your left. Kind of
Like as
around the
like I'm
side.
looking at the cliff.
Yeah, like kind of around the side of this
Okay.
pillar. It's hard to see.
Mhm.
There you notice that there's like kind of a ledge and a pile of rubble. That's like a caved in piece of this column.
Like
off to the side.
reachable or no?
You get the feeling you'd probably have to climb to it if you were to.
I say, Alfred, do you
Mhm.
mind scouting that out real quick? And I gesture towards the ledge.
He salutes.
Okay.
And yeah, he flies over, kind of hops around for a little bit. You can still see him as you rise up to the top.
Yeah.
Make a perception check for Alfred
With his stats?
with his stats. believe-
Gladly. I
I
rolled
believe he
very
has
good, and
advantage.
he's an owl, and he has advantage. Even better. That is a 22.
Ooh, nice. All right. Yeah.
But then he has to communicate.
Yeah, I love this dynamic where you use him to scout, but then you have to understand what
I
he
can't
says.
understand him. Okay.
Yeah, he, after maybe a little bit, it doesn't take him long. You reach the top and maybe you wait for a couple seconds,
Yeah,
and
I
he
would
comes
wait for
flying
him.
back. And he starts hooting to you and
Okay.
making little gestures with his wings and his owl eyebrows. I think we decided that he somehow
Lots
has
of blinking
eyebrows.
and eyebrows, yeah.
Yeah, make a animal handling.
15?
All right, yeah.
Sweet.
You get the idea
I
that
think that's my third 11 that I've rolled,
really,
and different bonuses have done different things, but I think that's the third 11.
like this session.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yep.
nice. You get the idea from what he's telling you that he heard something inside,
You
like
heard
inside the
something.
column. Mhm.
Oh.
It was faint since it was through a wall of rock. But he heard something like kind of like thrashing around. He heard like a crash.
I try to gesture to him and see if we can communicate. Is it something we could fit through, or I could fit through?
He shakes his head.
Okay.
It is a pile
So
of
there's
rubble.
something going on. Okay. Now that he's back, what do I see on this platform?
All right. There's a kind of half ruined, like, room, almost like a cathedral here. Not necessarily like, I guess, what would you call that? Like, it's circular and it fits on top of this basalt column. But like, maybe like a third of the walls are ruined and
Almost like
piles of rubble.
or maybe like an observatory
Yes,
or something?
an observatory.
Okay.
You get the idea that this might have been the big thing.
Cool.
And there is though faded and broken, kind of overgrown, there is a stained glass dome on top of this thing,
Whoa, cool.
and it's very pretty from what you can tell outside. It's got multicolors. It's got different pictures. You're not quite sure what from your view, but you get the idea that this was once a very grand building a long time ago.
And I'm outside of it still?
Mhm.
Okay. And is there much in the way of room around this building, or is the building kind of takes up the whole thing?
The building kind of takes up the whole thing. You
Okay.
get the idea. You'd have to go inside.
Okay. Well, I look at Yarg and I say, "Well, buddy, what do you think? There's a dragon in there maybe waiting for us."
I think we should go inside, but be careful.
I think so too. Alfred said that he kind of heard some sort of kerfuffle down, but it would be beneath us now.
Kerfuffle?
Like something crashing around.
Oh, all right. He draws this scimitar.
Actually, before I do anything, can I just get down on the ground? Is there stone?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean, like loose stone?
No, like stone that I'm walking on. Is it stone?
This entire thing is stone.
Can I get down and
It's
put my
basalt.
ear down on the ground to touch stone and hear or see if I can feel any vibrations beneath? I'm trying to figure out if I'm trying to see if those things that Alfred explained are happening beneath me. If I get that vibe.
All right. Make a perception check at disadvantage.
That's disadvantage, you say.
You are trying to listen through solid
Good
rock.
start. Very good. Still at 17 with disadvantage. My first roll was a 19.
That was the DC I set.
Ha!
All right.
Perfect.
You just barely hear from beneath you. It's very faint, but little like crashes and kind of like thumps.
Okay.
And like maybe you even hear like something, you're not quite sure what it is, but a low sound that doesn't sound like a solid object hitting another solid object. It sounds like a vocalization.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have my spear at the ready, and I stand up and let these guys know, and then I'm going to make my way towards the building.
All right.
Is it a closed door?
No, it is a doorway.
Okay.
There is a huge hole in
Can
the stained glass
I
around here
Please,
as well. But
since this is the only time I have felt prepared in my adventures so far, move forward stealthily.
yes, you can. And I do believe you have advantage on it.
I sure do.
Because of your boots of elven kind. So
I just
yes.
choose not to use it most of the time. All right, so I start making my way through the door, and I am going to get a 20, not natural.
Ooh, nice. All right. We're going to save that for now.
Okay.
So, as you enter this old stone building that's like there's sunlight shining through the stained glass dome, rays of light dance across the remains of this tower's dome, making iridescent colors shimmer across the crumbled marble walls. Gilded lines and jeweled inlays form a detailed star map spanning the dusty floor. 4 alabaster statues of scholars stand around the perimeter of the room, their expressions worn with time. Each 10-foot-tall statue is pointing or gesturing in a different direction. Curled in the northeast corner of the tower is a lithe blue dragon. It's not quite as big as you thought.
Okay.
He's probably about, probably about like 10 feet long at
okay.
most.
Okay, so
You
pretty.
get the feeling he's young.
He's a young dragon.
But he is blue. Lightning arcs around his horns and snout as he slumbers amid a scattered collection, a small collection, of coins and glittering jewels. You get
Okay.
the idea that this is a young dragon starting out with his hoard.
Wow. I think I was about to make a loud gesture, but then I see the dragon, and I quietly, shush everybody. And I would like to lean down to Yarg, and I'm going to say, Yarg, you know dragons.
What?
Is there any scenario where we approach this and we don't get eaten?
Well, if we're stealthy about it, I think so.
I forget.
Wait, didn't Mech and Min say that there was another dragon here?
Yeah, we're here to find Adrian, the bronze dragon. Gold? Bronze.
Bronze, you got it
Okay,
right.
I got a bronze. But they were in a kerfuffle themselves. I like the word kerfuffle today.
Yeah.
We can just
Do you think
assume
he's-
I'm whispering.
Yeah, you're whispering.
Okay. Do you think we should try to find that dragon first and try to find a way down?
I think so.
Can I scope, moving with my stealthiness and my feet moving around? Can I try to find evidence of some way to go down
Yeah.
without disturbing the guy?
Yeah, you want to move around the area?
So, and there's 4 10-foot tall statues pointing, but I'm assuming if I need to move them, then I wonder if I need to move them to descend into knowledge. Oh boy. This might be a puzzle. I'm assuming moving them is going to make a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you can. You already did make your stealth check, so
Yeah.
I'm going to allow you to make an investigation check.
Okay, I
Because
will
you
do
did
that
get a
first
20.
before I do anything.
Yarg is going to stay in the doorway for now.
Okay, investigation. It's a 13.
With a 13,
Mm-hmm.
you notice at the base, you notice these statues, right?
Mhm.
And they're all pointing towards different directions
Right.
in this room. With that perception check, investigation, you notice a small constellation in the southeast corner of the floor.
Okay.
A constellation that looks a bit like a dragon.
In that same look, does it seem like there's a way to move these statues that is clear, or do they just look like statues?
With that check, they look like statues.
Okay. I would like to casually pull into my bag and chug the potion of resistance,
Nice. All right.
which lasts 1 hour. I chug it, and I am, for the moment, resistant for an hour.
All right.
And then I would like to go towards one of these statues, keeping my eye on the dragon, and I want to see if I can try to move one.
Which statue? There are 4, and there are...
I want to go to the one that is pointing towards the dragon. Or closest to the dragon constellation.
Closest to the dragon? All right. Yeah, you can do that. It's going to be the one to your left. It is farthest away
from
this dragon.
Sparkrender, yes.
Okay, I would like to go over and place my hands upon the statue and give it a little push-pull situation, see
Give
if
a
it
little
wants to
push-pull
give a
situation?
little rotate or not.
All right. Yeah, you give a little push-pull situation. You notice it turns easier than you'd expected.
Somebody's greased this up.
Appears so. You notice that the statues does rotate. It does make a grinding noise. You get the idea that if you moved it anymore, you're going to have to be stealthy about it. But
Okay, I would like to try my best to stealthily start turning these statues one at a time
all right.
and see what happens.
All right. Just one at a time. Do you want Yarg to help you at all?
Oh, if Yarg could. Yeah, if Yarg's willing to help, then yes, I would do 2 statues at a time.
All right.
And I would like to turn them towards this dragon constellation. Slowly, stealthily.
Yarg kind of steps into the room. The other statue is right there. And you both are going to need to make a stealth check.
And I have advantage still?
Yes.
Oh boy, that, my friend, is a natural 20.
Ooh, nice.
Which is great because my first roll was a 2.
Yeah.
So natural 20 with stealth is 24.
All right, you got a 24, Yarg got a 14. You turn these first 2 statues, and you notice as you turn yours, and as soon as it starts pointing toward the southeast quadrant of the floor, you notice it clicks a little bit. Not enough to
Goodness.
like keep you from moving it, but it does.
It has
settle.
a spot.
Mm-hmm.
I find the spot and I wait a second with the click and I watch Sparkrender
Nothing happens. He's still snoring peacefully away.
snoring peacefully. Wonderful.
Yarg also turns his and points to the southeast quadrant of the floor, following your example, and it clicks.
Okay.
Now, however, you have the 2 ones closest to Sparkrender. There are 2 more statues left in the room.
Okay, then we move to the other ones. I would like to be on the one closest to the dragon in this next set.
Yeah, you can do that.
that Yarg
you're
is
gonna
safer.
be in the northeast corner of the
Yep.
room.
While I'm over there, can I get a look at Sparkrender's hoard?
Yeah.
Is there anything exciting? Is there anything interesting or noticeable?
Yeah, just make an investigation check.
12.
All right. You notice it's big for it's big. There's a lot of coins here, you notice at first, and you think, "Oh, wow. This guy has a pretty substantial hoard." And then you notice that most of them are copper.
Oh, okay.
Copper pieces. You
Okay.
get the idea that
He's working on it.
he's working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the size of enough that there's probably a thin mat on the floor that he's laying on. You know, you see like a couple gems. You see a couple gold coins. You see maybe like some like a case of something. You know, you get the idea is that he's working on it
Okay.
as a dragon, but there's not much here.
Well,
value.
super cool. Then I would like to now try to turn the other 2 statues.
All right, Yarg is going to make a check with you. He got a 17.
A 19. Which is great because my other one was a 3. Thank you, Boots of Elvenkind,
Nice.
because I would have
Alright.
rolled terrible.
Yeah, you guys, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. And Sparkrender probably like snorts a bit.
I pause. I hope I put my hand in Yarg.
And then he kind of like shifts
Okay.
and goes back to sleep.
I prepare myself to see what happens.
All right. You click your statues into place, and all of a sudden you hear a and a semicircular section at the center of the floor, right in the center of the star map, begins to glow, kind of with that same weird white, almost iridescent light
Okay.
that you noticed from the magic bridges.
Right.
And it glows. The light kind of fades just a little bit, and you see ka-chunk, 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 a spiral staircase leading
Sounds
down
like it's
into the
making
floor.
a lot of noise.
It's not. It's pretty quiet.
Okay.
You can hear
I'm
hear
keeping an
these
eye on
chunk-
Sparkrender. Wow. We did so well. I would like to move down these stairs.
All right. You step down. Are you leading?
Yeah, I would lead.
All right.
Softly padding my way along.
You go along, and
It kind of sounds kind of muffled down here. You are descending, and it's only like one rotation of the spiral staircase, and you descend into the floor. This was not very deep.
Oh, okay.
It says as you step down in, you kind of get this feeling of age here in this place.
A mustiness?
Yeah.
All right.
Stale air heavy with the smell of old parchment floods your nostrils. The walls are lined with shelves stuffed full of old tomes and yellowing scrolls. Glass cases, toppled over and shattered, have strewn their contents across the stone floor. Some of the shelves also have books upended off them. The sound of splintering wood echoes through the space. And a moment later, you see an agitated, bronze dragon the size of a bear, picking himself up from the wreckage of the old desk he apparently crashed into.
A bear?
Mm-hmm. About the size of a bear, about the same size as Sparkrender.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, a dragon?
Yeah.
The size of a bear?
Yeah.
I see. For some reason, I thought you meant like a dragon bear. And I'm like, what?
No, he's just the size of a bear, about the same size as Sparkrender.
Okay, side note, dragon bear sounds rad. Maybe some future campaign.
Oh, no.
Anyway, is he awake though?
Huh? Yeah, he stumbles out and he kind of like rubs his head a little bit and goes, ugh, I shouldn't have done that.
I hold up my hands and I hold up the key, the dragon key that Runara gave me, and I say, now don't make a ton of noise, but are you? I'm gonna roll to see if I can do it.
Remember?
Adron.
You did it.
I got an 18. The dragon. Obviously you're a dragon, but are you Adron?
Oh, yeah. I'm, oh, did Runara?
Runara sent me.
He looks a little guilty, about as guilty as a dragon can look.
All right.
And he kind of like twitches back his wings a little bit and says, is she all right?
She's fine. She's a dragon. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, like, I studied with her for a while.
That's cool. I'm new to the whole dragon thing. She sent me here to find you, so...
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I've been stuck here for a while. Haven't, had much of a... Well, I've been trying to get out, you see, but, well, he kind of looks around and at the broken bookshelves and splintered wood. Haven't been doing all too well.
Well, we found a way down, but I'm going to assume that your problem had something to do with old Blueface up there?
Ugh, yeah. Sparkrender.
Right.
Thought he was all high and mighty. Thought he would be a mighty fine dragon to, hang out with, but he's mean. And rude.
Story as old as time, isn't it? And I walk over to the dragon. Does he let me approach?
Yeah, he's...
I would like to put my arm around the dragon's head. And I would say, story as old as time, you make friends, you think you know people, and then you find out deep down they're awful. And you can't be around them anymore. That's it. That's all I say.
All right. Yeah, but,
I had a mailman like that once. I delivered my post.
You were friends with the mailman?
I thought I was. I leave it there.
Oh no, I'm kind of scared now.
And I say, Adron, were you stuck down here because of Sparkrender?
Well, I came here, and because I got into a bit of a fight with Runara, and because I heard about him. I heard that he's been here, and he was trying to become this big, powerful dragon, and I thought, hey, why not help him, Sounds cool, right? But, he turned out to be a little bit too evil, and so we got into a bit of a fight over what should happen, and, well, it became more than just an argument.
And he trapped you down here?
Yeah, he, cornered me here and, well, caved in the wall. He gestures over to the side of the room where you notice the back side of the pile of rubble that you've seen.
I see.
And I've been stuck here. Yeah, I can't get out through that. And he kind of like gestures towards the staircase.
Oh, okay.
And I'm too big, and he knew he had me stuck here. He's gonna do something with me. If I don't get out, that is. But now you're here. So
Hold on, back up. What do you mean? Like some sort of... And I flash back in my mind's eye to the tree at Olivia's, and I make eye contact with Alfred, a knowing look at each other, and he looks at me and he goes, ooh, very serious. And I say, a
Also,
ritual of sorts?
Your facial expression while you said who was
Who?
pretty great.
I say, a ritual of sorts?
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but, well,
Tell me, do you know much about Sharuth?
I mean, not a lot, but, well, I know she's big and scary, and I know that she's got something to do with Sparkrender's plan, and I know that he's using all the spirits from all the other dead dragons here to become all high and mighty.
Okay, you kind of buried the lead on that one. That's kind of important. You should put that up top of the conversation.
Well, I don't know. I don't
Runara
like
doesn't
talking
know
about it.
that.
Oh, she doesn't?
No,
Oh,
that's
Well, I
bad.
guess
That
she
seems
never
really
talked to
bad.
him. yeah.
We might need to deal with him.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to help us? We are a team of adventurers. I, of course, am Ellen Hobrendell Glissandier. You can call me Hob, since now we're friends.
Well, Mr. Ellen Hobrendell Glissandier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You got it right the first time.
This is probably one of the first times someone has actually fully
Oh.
gotten your name right
And this
in a
is-
while.
And then I say thank you. And then I point and I say, this is Yogg the Brave, the kobold.
Nice to meet you.
He kind of holds out a claw, and Yarg very reverently just shakes it.
Yep.
He
And
just-
of course, the leader of our team, Alfred, here.
He kind of cocks his head.
Alfred also cocks his head, closes one eye.
Well, thank you for coming, really. I mean, I really need to get out before Sparkrender does
Yes.
this thing.
So you're stuck because of the downed wall?
Yeah, I've been trying to get out, but it just, all of what I try to do from the inside just makes it collapse further.
And what is this place? Have you been able to find out any of there's lots of books here.
Oh, yes,
He kind of looks a little sheepish.
I categorized them.
You categorized all the books?
I mean, I had to do something to pass the time.
Perfect. Do you think you could give me the Spark Notes? It's a joke, of course.
Nice. Yeah. What do you want?
Is there anything about Sharuth or what he might be doing with you down here? Is there any sort of ritual?
No.
Okay. Well then.
It's mostly just old stuff. Some of it's written in Draconic.
Ooh,
but,
fun.
There's a lot of it's too old to read. There's some items here, though.
Items? I get all excited. What? Can you give me a quick summary while you show me the items?
Well,
What is this place?
He kind of like, you get the feeling that he's starting to get into his moment here.
Oh, nice. Little
like,
showmanship?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
He kind of like leads you over
Oh, yeah.
and to a shelf, and he says,
well, here, think I found a scroll, like magic scroll. I don't know quite what it is, but
he takes it down off the shelf and kind of hands it to you.
Okay.
if it's it's a magic scroll, and it can I don't know too much about the specifics of wizardry, but I think it's got something to do with like control stuff.
It's a very ornate spell scroll case.
Okay. I know absolutely nothing about magic.
Mhm.
I say, cool.
You know the basis that reading spells can get that reading these spell scrolls you can use them even if you don't use magic.
Oh, I can. Okay.
So
Can I open it up and look at
Yeah.
it?
it says at the top in very fancy handwriting, scroll of hold person.
Of hold person.
A hold person, yes.
Okay.
You also, and he says, I haven't. Well, it's got something to do with all the magic-y stuff. And over here, he leads you to another shelf. I found this. Don't know how it's got in here, but this seems to be kind of a library, but I think it was in one of the display cases before I smashed it.
Okay.
And he hands it to you. And this item is a very fancy looking battle axe.
A battle axe. Whoa.
And as you hold it, it kind of gives off a little bit of warmth almost.
Warmth. Battle axe. Yeah, I can use a battle axe.
You can use a battle
I can. Is that like two-handed is the idea with a battle axe, or is that one-handed kind of?
I believe battle axes are two-handed.
Okay, cool. I heft it in my hands, and I say, ooh, it's putting off a warmth.
You get the idea that there is something more about this.
I bet there is. Is this something I would have to attune to?
No, you get the feeling that it's kind of ambient. It's just a little bit of warmth.
Okay.
This is a +1 battle axe.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I can have that, I say to the dragon?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any use for it. I've got these. And he just holds up his claws
Okay.
and says, I was just kind of categorizing them as it's a pastime. I didn't realize anyone would come by.
Wow. Well,
But-
let me tell you, you're my new favorite person. And secondly, you're stuck down here. Do you think we could get through the rubble, or have you tried that?
I mean, I've tried from the inside. There might be a way outside.
Okay. Well, here's a thought.
What?
I'm great at annoying people. Sort of my thing. Me, Yarg,
Oh.
Alfred.
Really?
Yeah, it's like one of our things. I wonder if we could convince Sparkrender to break the way back in.
Oh.
Like, if he frees up the hole because he's a strong dragon person, then you'd be free. We would then have to deal with him as a dragon, though.
I mean, it might work. I don't know if you can clear the rubble. I don't know. I mean, do you really want to face him? I mean, I know I probably should. I failed the first time.
You should face him?
Yeah, he kind of gets a little bit of a dark look over his face.
Insight check, the dragon. What is he? What's going on? That is a 19.
Ooh, nice. You can tell that he seems a little bit regretful that
Oh,
he
okay.
didn't manage to beat Sparkrender the
Ah.
last time.
I say, look, and I look at Yarg, and I say, Yarg here, and I put my hand on Yarg's shoulder. He was a kobold.
Yeah?
That was looking for a purpose in life and found destiny by being a feathered fang, which is us, just in case that wasn't clear.
Oh, good team name.
And
Should keep that in
Yarg,
mind.
in that, has found his inner fire, his inner anger that he can use for good.
Oh, yeah. I've been learning how to get angry, but in a good way.
In a good way, exactly. And he learned that I like to think a little bit through friendship.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so what you didn't have before, Adron, is pretty cool people hanging out with you.
I mean,
Friends of Runara.
what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to tell him very convincingly that he might not have succeeded last time, but this time around we'll help him fight.
Make a persuasion check.
Ha! That is a 13.
He goes, all right. I mean, if you want to help.
Oh, I want to help. Look, I don't know much about Sharuth, but I think she's bad. I don't know much about dragon souls, but absorbing them seems bad. And I especially don't know much about Sparkrender, but it sounds kind of like he's bad. And
They're all kind of bad.
they're all kind of bad things. And I think I think we're on the path to destiny.
Oh?
Yep. And I think this might be one of the steps.
Oh, I like the idea of destiny.
Right? Sounds good, doesn't it?
He kind of like props himself up a little bit more. He's perks up a little bit.
I say, all right. Well, I think the only thing
we can-
left.
If we can get me out, I can help you. I can help you
Okay.
fight Sparkrender.
Cool. Okay, before we go, is there any information about this place that we need or that would help us?
Well, you can see him like thinking in his mind for a little bit. Then he kind of like scans the room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. There's nothing really too specific.
Okay.
I mean, there's a couple books about the history, and there's a couple books about dragons in general. There's also just some books about magic. I
Is there
haven't.
any books about here, about Stormwreck Isle?
Well, yes, there's some history books, and he kind of goes over to a shelf that their books stacked in here. They don't seem to be in their original configuration.
Just whatever he did.
Just whatever he organized them as.
Okay.
But he pulls maybe like 2 down. These ones you can still mostly read.
Okay. Is there anything about deep underground places of magic power or prisons or...
Huh?
Well, Sharuth
Oh.
might be here. and I
What?
point down on the island. I'm kind of figuring it out a little bit at a time.
He kind of like, his eyes just widen. He kind of like looks down at the floor, looks back up to you, and then looks back down at the floor.
Oh,
I think that might be what old
maybe that's what he's.
Harkbender is doing or whatever.
What?
Yeah, Harkbender.
Harkbender?
Yep.
I
think that may be why he's here.
Oh, right.
And he goes over to another shelf. There's a scroll of parchment here, and he pulls it down and unfurls it, trying not to rip it. And in very haphazard handwriting. And you don't recognize the letters
Okay.
or the words at all. In fact, you can't really read it. These are notes made in Draconic.
In Draconic.
Yes, you know what these runes look like, but you can't read Draconic at all. But they're very messily formed and seem to be made almost like not with like a quill or anything. And Adrian goes, these are some of my notes I've made. I think he's planning to use, and he kind of like scans through them. I think he's planning to use, well, me as a kind of a, I don't know, like a conduit or something. I don't really get it, but I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to use the power of all these ancient dragons, and he kind of like reads through his notes again, to become like some super powerful dragon. From what I told him, or from what he told me, he's trying to finish what his grandfather, great uncle, I don't know how they're related, but his ancestor was trying to do a long time ago.
I see a mega dragon.
Oh, here it is. Eldenamir, I think was his name.
Eldenamir. I've heard that name before. He flew in here and he did battle with Alzagar. Alstalagan.
You got it.
Astalagan.
Astalagan. You got it. Third try. Nice.
Got it. I say, yes, of course. So, we need to stop that.
Yeah, right.
I have a plan.
He rolls up the parchment again.
I have a plan.
You have a plan?
I have a plan.
Right.
And I say, can someone ride you? And I look at Yarg.
Yarg kind of just like...
Oh, come on. You know you want to ride the dragon.
I mean, would that be all right?
And Adrian just goes, well, of course. He kind of stretches his wings a little bit, maybe knocks over another glass case. This room is pretty small.
Okay.
And he says, I haven't flown in a couple days, but I can manage.
Okay, get prepared. Yarg, Adron, Alfred, hands in. And I put my fist in the middle of the group.
Yarg puts his fist in.
Nice.
Alfred puts his wing in. Adrian, his entire paw being too big, he just puts in a claw.
Puts in a claw. And I say, some of us have feathers, some of us have fangs, but all of us have teamwork and friendship. And then I say, huzzah! And I raise my fist up.
Yarg goes,
We are the feathered fangs.
Yes.
and everybody cheers. Alfred goes, who? And
We say huzzah.
huzzah.
And then I say, Yog, be
Yeah.
ready. Adron, be ready. Get near that rock wall. You'll know what to do when the time comes.
And where am I supposed to fly again?
Out.
Oh, okay.
When the wall opens, meet me upstairs.
All right.
And I say,
He lifts his wing in front of his face and does kind of what you'd expect of a dragon version of a salute.
cool.
And Yarg salutes you.
Awesome.
All right, we'll be ready.
Perfect.
I'm gonna get mad.
Get mad. And then I would like to go back up the stairs. And I say, Alfred, I need your help before I go up.
Ooh.
Is there a way out of this building for Sparkrender?
Yeah, there's a giant hole in the stained glass
Perfect.
roof. There's probably a couple bigger holes in the wall that he could fit through.
Okay. I
You get the feeling he doesn't use the main door much as it's too small.
would
But
like to go over to the cliff's edge where there...
are you going out of the
I'm
building?
going out of the building for a moment. Go over to the cliff's edge where there was a rock wall.
Mhm.
Is there anything I could tie a rope to?
Just like rocks? Yeah.
Something sturdy.
There is definitely several thick basalt columns that are
Perfect.
sticking up. There's probably a couple pieces of framing for the stained glass window. You can find something
Okay.
easily enough.
I would like to tie a knot and have it dangle just above the wreckage,
All right.
this rubble.
Yeah, you can see the rubble from
Perfect.
here. It's very obviously caved in.
Okay, I would like to climb down and stand on the precipice of this ledge.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that. With
I would
rope.
like to
easily.
stand there, and I would like to look at Alfred in the eyes. And I said, Alfred, I need something from you.
Ooh.
And I would like to give Alfred, let's see, what would be fun to give Alfred? I would like to give Alfred my iron pot.
Wait, no. You gave that to
That's
Mila.
right. I did that. I give that to Mila. Delete. I would like to give Alfred a torch.
All right.
And I'm going to light the torch.
Ooh.
So
nice.
he's holding a flaming torch. And I say, and I
Ooh.
grab his face and I put his beak against my nose. And our eyes are millimeters away from each other.
He
And I
does
stare.
the slow off blink.
Yeah. And I stare at him and I say, Alfred, you must take this, drop it on the dragon, and fly back here with speed.
Ooh.
Perfect. And I pat him on the head and I say, you've been a good friend and a good ally. However this goes, it was an honor to serve with you. And then we bump heads.
Yeah, you bump heads.
And then
he flies
I
off.
would like to, as he flies off, pull out my lute. And I would like to play a song that I will come up with at some point about how Shark Tender smells like feet.
Oof.
And then
Oof, nice. What
and
a thing to wake up
Alfred
to.
goes out,
Alfred goes out.
and he, I assume, is going to do
Mhm.
the deed.
Yeah, he flies in. You're playing.
I'm playing. I'm just waiting for Alfred to
Yeah.
return.
We camera zoom in
Nice.
on Alfred as he flies through the hole in the stained glass roof. Sparkrender has probably shifted positions a little, but is still sleeping. The hole in the floor remains. And
and
Alfred.
I instructed Alfred to give a good screech when he does it.
all right. Alfred swoops in, kind of circles around, tries to find, the best spot to drop this, knows it would hit. And then he goes, and drops the torch. It falls and spins and lands and bounces off of Sparkrender's head.
Perfect.
Lightning crackles, and his eyes, electric blue, snap open. He sits up, kind of blinks, and turns and sees the owl quickly flying away and goes, "Who dares wake me?" And you hear this from your place where you are currently singing a song about how Shark Tender smells like feet. And that is where we will end this episode.
Heck yeah. I'm so ready. I'm going to have to come up with a song.
Yeah, you need to write that song. I want to hear it. I want to
perfect.
hear maybe we can get you to play my ukulele, get a little bit of showmanship here.
Oh, boy. That was a good one. I'm ready for some dragon combat. We'll see how my plan goes. Step 2, of course, is, entirely based on whether or not he attacks a wall.
Yeah.
Then we'll find out.
Yeah, you'll see. We'll see.
That was great.
That was a fun idea.
Alrighty. Well, I'm excited.
I was seriously, some part of me was expecting you to go up and tickle the sleeping dragon, but
Well, I figured got to keep it on
But
brand here.
that was pretty great.
All right.
All right.
Well, that was cool. Thanks for a battle axe.
Thanks for the epic ending.
There we go. No problem. All right. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back next week for a dragon battle.
For a dragon battle, yeah. We might be getting close to the end of this thing.
I'm excited. All right.
Maybe.
All right. And we will see you then. See you
next
next week
on
Dadventurous.
Dadventurous.